groundedness, developing material security, and sensibility and stability are all very, very important to the Taurus Midheaven position's life mission. It's very important that people with the Midheaven and Taurus have a solid job where they're making money. They're really getting tangible results, and they approach life in a very slow and steady way. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Midheaven and Taurus placement in the birth chart if you have it. This midheaven is aligned to your 10th house, and in order to understand the midheaven, I have a whole nother video on YouTube all about the midheaven, which is very important to understand before you delve into your individual placement. So, let's get into what it means if somebody has a midheaven placement in Taurus in their birth chart. They approached career in a very slow, steady, and methodical kind of way. They're all about the slow and steady wins the race. They're very patient. They're willing to put in a lot of work, and they're understanding that things don't happen overnight. Rome was not built in a day. They put one foot in front of the other, making one step at a time, slowly but surely easing their way to success. And if they can be committed, if they can hang in there for the long haul to the end, then that's where they're going to achieve the most rewarding and long-lasting success. They want to leave behind a mark of tangibility where they're actively putting the black paint on that lamp, where they're putting that ventilator in, where they're taking the suitcase and throwing it over the falls. They need to actually do things in their life, not sit around and be armchair astronauts, but actively participate in life, actively engage in life, physically doing things in life. The physical minutia of life is what they're all about. And so they have a very practical and efficient way that they want to go about their goals. And while efficiency could be more linked to Virgo, it ties into Taurus because Taurus, like Virgo, is an earth sign. So that they can be very practical when it comes to achieving their goals in those types of ways. They have strong tenacity about them. They're very persevering. They're in it for the long haul. They want to face challenges head on. Once they set their sights on a goal, they are committed, they have blinders on, they're very determined and willful at achieving that thing. And as I said, they face challenges head on. They don't avoid the challenge, they don't move around it, they face it head on. They're very willing to do that when it comes to the work aspect of things. They are very dependable and reliable. This is something which can be very included with them, is that they can be, other people can count on them when it comes to achieving a goal, when it comes to painting that wall a certain color, when it comes to riding that bike down Main Street. They're all about what can I do for you, where I am showing you that you can count on me. Now, Taurus is a sign that is also linked to values and what you value and what you find important, what truly matters to you. So it's important for them to have a solid value system and to live a life in alignment with that value system, to put their values their top priority first. They are incredibly loyal people. They're loyal when it comes to what their goals are, what their career is, what the people in their life needing certain things. They're dedicated and they're resilient. They're focused, they're committed, and they're very strong. They recognize their potential. They recognize because Taurus is more of a positive earth sign where they can see the glass half full instead of half empty. Where they're seeing the creative potentials for what they could manifest in their life. They're also willing to make sacrifices, suffer now, enjoy it later. Where they can go through these periods of suffering, but that ultimately lead to long-term gain, a result that is better than if they didn't make those sacrifices. So they deeply, innately understand the value of temporary sacrifices. Stability and financial security are two aspects that are very, very good for them. They're dedicated to their professional life. This is a really, really good trademark for Taurus Midheaven natives, is they're very determined and dedicated to their work life. They're also very strong people, um, as I've talked about before. So they stand strong in their beliefs and their principles. They're very, very focused and they're very determined to stick to those beliefs and principles that they have. It's also very important for them to develop a secure and prosperous work environment because if that work environment is not secure and prosperous, they will want to transform it into something that brings results, that brings money, where they're bringing home the bacon. And so they want their work to be fulfilling and prosperous. They create a sense of security and comfort for themselves and those around them. That's another really great quality, is that they have this calm, Venusian, relaxed, chill manner that is very inviting and alluring to others, attract them, especially if they're more drama dones or if they're uh, more, up in in the weeds of life. They can really find solace in a safe sanctuary with Taurus midheaven natives because of the calm, bull-like nature. Not the stubborn quality of the bull, but the calm quality of the bull that sits and enjoys the flowers and the trees and the air and the birds and all those kind of essential things. So their goals are very practical and realistic goals. They want work, they crave work on a soul level, they need work that um where you have to be honest and you have to have integrity in that work. They're very steadfast in maintaining security. The steadfastness is really what their strong suit is. Uh, so they need security in their life. They gain pleasure from things involving engaging with the five senses. Anything where they can engage their five senses, they can excel at when it comes to careers, such as fashion, being a chef, being a clothes designer, being an artist, whatever it is. And so there is business ventures and financial matters, which is very important to them. Midheaven Taurus people can excel in careers involving money, nature, and art. So anything financial, anything natural, anything artistic is well suited for these natives. They stubbornly stick to their goals they have and prefer to set them themselves, set their own goals rather than other people imposing and projecting and forcing their goals down onto them. They want to stick to their own goals, stick to their own routines, and achieve it to the end of time. So they're very. Now, another quality is it might be challenging to make decisions for themselves because depending upon other factors of your chart, they may possibly be focused on others' goals. This isn't guaranteed, but that could be a possibility where they're so focused on the goals of others. That's more of a Libra midheaven trait, um, which we're going to talk about when we uh, get to it. Is that maybe something that is involved with the labor midheaven? We'll find out when we get there. But so they demand respect. They absolutely demand respect. They expect it, and they're very conservative in their approach. They're good at money and managing it and are rational with it. Their accomplishments are very important, that they require um, effort and hard work. So they need effort and hard work in their accomplishments. They're determined and willing to face any obstacles that come up. They have strong will and persistence when it comes to achieving their goals. They're very, very committed to their goals. They also have a great sense of aesthetic as well. They enjoy life. The older and older they get, they enjoy life. The older they become, they can relax, chill out, enjoy the pleasures of life. They can also really milk the pleasures of the present moment that is all important to them, from the birds that sing in nature, from the sound of the fan blowing in that room, from the wonderful flavored food that they're eating. And so their work life may be more stable than their home life might be. They crave stability in both areas, and they crave strong work-life balance. The professional environment needs to be stable for them. Um, they want things to be working efficiently. They want to make the most out of what's available to them, being practical, using what you can to make what you can. They may not be big risk takers. They may want to veer away from taking risks, gambling on certain things. They prefer security more than anything else. They want to make sure that their job is stable, where they can express themselves creatively, and the job aligns with their values. So if you're watching this, and if your midheaven is in Taurus, and if your job does not align with your values, quit the job, pick another job that does align with your values, and go into that job. That's what I'm saying. So thinking it through and making solid plans in your career life is very important. So, this is very matterful with them, is that they're really that their career life has solid foundations that they can fall back upon. They have great taste in things. They want their life and their surroundings to be beautiful because Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty. When they achieve success, when they put in that hard work, one step at a time, one foot in front of the other, they achieve long-lasting success for the long term. They want their career to be reliable and stable. They want to create and build their dream career. They are hard workers. And they enjoy doing things in the physical world, anything that engages their five senses. So that is all I have on the midheaven in the zodiac sign of Taurus and the birth chart. Thank you for watching. If you found value from this video, like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss any more videos. On the next video, I'm going to be discussing the midheaven in the zodiac sign of Gemini, and what that means in the communicative intellectual sign of Gemini, what that means in a natal chart if somebody has that placement. So tune in for that video coming up in a couple of days, and bye for now.